A very warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I am Ria and I represent Cognixia, a 12 plus year old organization working as a trusted talent solution partners for many of you. We empower companies to upskill and reskill their workforce across next generation technologies and essential power skills. Before we begin, I would like to walk you through a quick glimpse into our areas of excellence. Our today's session, Microsoft Fabric with Copilot, comes from our data and AI excellence domain. And here are some of our broader capabilities in delivering training and working with open source language models. With that, I would like to open the house and invite our subject matter expert, Parveen, to take the learning forward. Parveen, over to you.
Thank you, Ria. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session of Microsoft Fabric. I hope you will enjoy these 90 minutes with me, where we will explore the capabilities of the Fabric as a tool and how it gets integrated with the Copilot as well. We'll just do a quick deep dive about the Fabric environment, what exactly the Fabric is, how as a data engineer, as a data analyst, as a BI engineer, or whether you are working as a machine learning engineer or looking for some AI solutions, how you can take the benefit of this Fabric as a tool as well. So might be many of you have heard about the Fabric as a tool. Might be few of you are already using the Fabric as a tool. And now you want to explore what else we can achieve from the Fabric environment as well. So without wasting the time, I'll just quickly go through the presentation, and of course, I'll be doing a lot of demonstration as well. Feel free to ask me any questions, use the chat window and interact with me whenever that I'll get a chance. I will definitely ask any of your I will respond you back in the chat window, and at the end of the session also we'll be having the Q&A as well. So class, we'll talk about the analytics solutions. As a data engineer, as a data analyst, as a data person, you might be already using the different type of the systems, whether it is about the Azure environment, and in the Azure environment might be you are already using the Synapse Analytics for any of your workload management. You're using the Data Factory as a tool for you. You might be using the Databricks as well, or many tools that are available in the AWS and the GCP platform as well. But when we talk about the Fabric, the Microsoft hottest product in the industry right now, it's about like you can say a SaaS based solution, straightforward, available without requiring any additional subscription like the Azure. You can sign up with your Microsoft 365 account and you can take the benefit of the Fabric environment. Microsoft provides you an initial trial account for a 30 days, for a 60 days of time that you can use to work with the Fabric environment, look into the capabilities of the Fabric environment, and see how this Fabric can help you to handle your different type of the workload, whether you are talking about your warehouse management, whether you're looking for your ETL solutions, whether you're looking for a solutions for creating your AI agents into the environment, or whether your need is to handle your machine learning as well. All these capabilities that the Fabric environment provides you. And again, I just said, without the need of an additional subscription like the Azure. But the Microsoft is providing you another way as well. Like many of the organization might be not using the Microsoft 365 environment, or they don't want to use, or they want to control the costing at their own. So the Microsoft gives you the capability that if you own the subscription from the Azure, then also it gives you the capability to host and manage your Fabric environment at your own. That means we have two ways to work with your Fabric, either a SaaS based solution where you have the license based options that you can subscribe, pay for your license and start using it. Another option is like you can plan the costing, you can cut down the costing, you can control the costing of your computation that is associated with your Fabric environment, and that can be shared with multiple users. So we have a platform as a service by using the Azure subscription as well. If your need is to handle any of your ETL jobs, so the Microsoft is providing you a tool that is powered by the Data Factory. Many of you might be having some idea about the Fabric environment, an ETL tool where you don't need to write a program by using a graphical interface, drag and drop and configuration options, you will be able to create your entire the ETL solutions. So that data factory is available inside the Fabric environment as well. In the background, in the Fabric environment, when you're talking about your data factory, it is using the Power Query. The Power Query is, you can say, a formula based engine that helps you to handle your data, where you will be able to say that I would like to get my data from multiple sources. No, I would like to perform some filter. I would like to perform any type of some basic calculations over there. I would like to perform the joins on my data. So the data factory will help you to do that. Along with this, if you're working as a data engineer and your need is to handle a large volume of data and the data is coming from wide range of the data sources, and you would like to handle all these capabilities with the help of writing the program. So the Jupyter Notebook, one of the common platform, or you can say a tool that is widely used in the industry to perform any of your data engineering, analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So we are using the Jupyter Notebooks. So same notebooks are available inside the Fabric environment as well. So you can take the benefit of the standard computation engine in the background, and that's everybody aware about it. This one is like the Spark. In the Fabric also, you are having the Spark engine that is powered by the Microsoft Azure Synapse Analytics environment. Using this engine, you will be able to handle any of your data, whether the data is structured, unstructured, semi-structured data, you will be able to play with that. You will be taking the benefit of the Spark computation engine, where you will be having a big computation in the background that you will be able to consume it. The interesting thing when you talk about the Fabric is like, if you have worked with the Synapse or the Databricks environment, you might have noticed whenever you start working with your notebook or you want to perform any type of your workload management, you clicked on your compute. So you start your compute engine. And you might have noticed that starting a computation engine always takes time, like 5 to 7 minutes is the common time that it's take. Depends on multiple factor, but 5 minutes or 6 or 7 minutes is the common timeline that every time it uses to start your computation. But when you're talking about the Fabric environment, the out of the box, the Spark engine that comes with your license, or you can say with your Azure subscription as well, that gets it takes on only less than 20 seconds to spin up your environment. So within 20 seconds, your Spark engine is ready and you will be able to save a lot of your computation as well. A lot of computation time is getting saved. That means my application performance are very fast. You will be able to start working on your application immediately once your environment is ready. And creating the environment is just a task of creating a workspace, and your Spark engine is always available with you. If the need is to create an enterprise level warehouse, so the Fabric environment provides you the capability to create your enterprise warehouse environment as well. Your warehouse that is for your enterprise BI reporting purpose, where your data is in the tabular format. You will be having your own schema definition. You will be able to apply different type of the constraints. You will be able to set and check the performance and the optimization of your query. All those benefits, what your standard SQL data warehouse engine provides you, the same capability is available inside the Fabric as well. Even though if you're looking for a machine learning solution, you have the Spark capability, and once the Spark capability is there in the Fabric environment, so it doesn't matter whether your need is to do any type of data engineering or data analytics or the machine learning, all these things can easily be implemented. Out of the box, when you have your Spark engine available, the default libraries are always installed for you. But it gives you the capability that based on your requirement, you can install any additional libraries, any of your customized libraries that you have created from your own computer. You want to import it, or you want to take the community libraries to be added into your environment. All these things are quite possible to get it implemented as well. In case you would like to handle the real-time data, the data that is generated by your applications, data that is generated by the different type of systems, data generated by the different type of the IoT devices, the Fabric environment provides you the system that is capable of handling a huge volume of data into the real-time environment. You will be able to perform the analytics on top of that. Real-time dashboards and reports can easily be generated. So we have the real-time intelligence system available as well. And of course, because it's a part of your Power BI environment, so the Power BI is also there that will help you, that you will be able to interact with your semantic models. Semantic models will be generated for you. You will be able to use these models for creating your dashboards and report easily by using this platform. But when we talk about the storage mechanism, so the overall Fabric environment uses a tool, or you can say a storage mechanism that we called as the OneLake. So just consider the OneLake as your primary storage mechanism where your entire data is getting stored. And it uses the concept of a one copy. One copy means that you don't require to duplicate your data from different type of data sources. You will be having only one single copy of your data into the OneLake. As soon as you will be having your own license or your organization has applied for the Fabric environment based on your tenant, what will happen? You will be getting a OneLake. This is similar to your OneDrive, but this OneDrive is basically available for individual users. But in the background, there is a SharePoint that is holding all your OneDrive data. The similar concept is available here. Based on your tenant, you will be getting a OneLake in your environment, and every user in the organization is using the same OneLake to store their own data. If I have multiple users like user 1, user 2, user 3, every user data gets stored into the OneLake, but nobody can access this data until this is getting shared with the different user, like the way you are sharing your files with the different users in your own OneDrive. The similar concept available in your OneLake as well. You can organize your data, and we're using a concept of a domain inside your OneLake, so you can organize all your data by using your department, vendor, customer, right? Projects, you can organize it, and within this domains you can hold your data, and then this data can be shared with the users within the organizations. You can allocate the permissions, what type of operations the different users can perform. Do they will be able to read the data? Can they write the data? Can they see the reports? Can they execute the SQL? Can they build the reports? Can they execute the code by using the notebook on top of this one? Can they customize their semantic model? All these things can easily be integrated by using the security and the governance that is available on top of your OneLake environment. And the computation that you're using inside the Fabric environment, that is the license based, or you have the option that you can use the Azure subscription as well. But again, within that also, you will be configuring some type of the computation, and the computation that we use here, we call this as a computation units, CU. So it consists of what is the amount of the CPU, what is the amount of the memory that is going to be allocated. And as I just told you, you will be having your own semantic model to handling your data. The OneLake that you're using, it is just like your ADLS, Azure Data Lake storage, but as a SaaS solution. That means you won't be able to explore this solution by using the Azure environment. It can only be accessed when you are connected with your Fabric environment. So from the Fabric, you will be able to handle this entire OneLake. In your environment, might be the need is to do any type of your data engineering. So you will be able to club these different components over there. If your need is to handle any type of your analytics workload, then you can see these tools can be combined. And if you are working as a data analyst or the data scientist or a machine learning team, the need, so you can use the data science tools and the machine learning combined within your organization. For the data analyst, we have the BI. And of course, in case there is a decision-making team that is more into using some Power BI, interacting with Excel, integrating with your Power Apps, using the Power Automate. So of course, these things can easily be accessible as well for your decision-making teams as well. Without talking about much more on this part, let's see how this fabric works together. When you look into the overall picture of your fabric environment, there are two things comes into the picture. First is like how to organize my data, how my data is getting stored. So the first thing that I just mentioned, we have a OneLake, that is my storage. What within this storage, you will be able to organize your data in different ways. And the first thing to organize your data that might be everybody aware about, that is the lake houses. The lake house is required, of course, when you are creating any type of your big data ingestions, like the data is in semi-structured format, structured format, or unstructured. So you want to organize and store my data. Of course, the lakehouse, the right candidate. If you want to consume your data by using the Spark engine, by writing the notebook program, so the lakehouse is the right candidate. Why? Because the lakehouse will help you to organize your data into the data lake, and it is providing you the data warehouse capabilities as well. Using the data lake, of course, you will be getting a wide range of your storage mechanism. You will be able to customize your schema as per your need. Whenever the new data is coming and the schema needs to be updated, it gives you the capability that you can update your schema as well. Your data that you are storing, it is getting stored into the files, and the data inside these files is primary storage inside the lake house that it uses. It is using a Parquet as your file format, so that this data that you store into the lake houses, this is available for the different range of the platforms as well. That means it is not the Fabric specific, it can be used by any of the platform as well. And with the help of the data warehouse, as you know, that it is providing you a relational schema modeling technique. That means you will be able to query your data because my data is getting organized in a tabular format as well. So that's the benefit. That's why the lake houses are there. So the lake house is common now, whether you're talking about your Synapse or whether you're talking about the data bricks in your environment. Lake house is the primary storage mechanism when you're creating any of your Medallion architecture as well, so that you will be storing your data from your the raw data, your bronze and your silver. And of course, after the silver, if it is required to help you to organize your data for your reporting purpose, then you can combine and store this data into a warehouse. But this is just the general practice that the industry follows. Based on your requirement, it might be different, but of course we have both the capabilities available. So you can organize your data in lake houses as well as inside your warehouse environment as well. To work with the lakehouse environment, it is very simple and straightforward. If you allow me for a second, let me quickly share my screen. This is the interface of the Fabric. The URL is like app.fabric.microsoft.com. As I just told you, there are two ways that you will be able to start using this Fabric environment. First is like you must have a license of this one that can be used, or the second option is like from your Azure environment, what we can do, we can create a Fabric. So the Fabric capacity can be created from here. So here is the Fabric. So in case you are already having the Azure subscription, you have the Microsoft 365 account, so you can create a Fabric from here. And from this Fabric, you can just select what is my capacity unit that is required. Just put up your resource group name and it will be ready. Select your region in which you would like to host your computation engine, and it is going to be straightforward available for you. That is one way of doing. Second option, just procure a license. Ask your Microsoft 365 admin team manager to allocate your license. Once you have your license available, then this license can be consumed over here as well. First step, after having a license or the Microsoft 365 account with the Microsoft subscription, you can log in into app.fabric.com And then the first thing that is required is like a workspace. This is similar to what you're using in other analytics environment as well. For any type of your workload management for project department or a vendor, you generally have a workspace that integrates all your common controls and the tools available. Same thing is applicable here as well. You can start with a workspace. So it is very simple. Just click on the workspace, put up a name, any description, and if you want to organize your data, so the domain is there. Domain is something that is helps needs to be created by the administrator. Once the administrator has created it, then you have the option that you will be able to select any of these available domain names. It is not mandatory to set up a domain name in the initial setup. It can be done later on as well. But the most important thing that is required is to use the license type. And from this advanced section, you can choose the license. If you are not selecting this option, so by default, if your organization or you might have the Power BI license, so it will allocate you might be a pro license for your Power BI. But if this is a Power BI license, of course, you are not allowed to use any of the Fabric tools from here. Or if you're using a premium per user, it is also providing you the BI features only, but the premium features, again, the Fabric tools will not be available. What is required? Either you start a trial account available for a 60 days of duration, or you can use a premium capacity by having your own license that has been allocated to you by your administrator. Or if you have created any Fabric capacity into the Azure environment, then you just create one from here. Like I have already created one named as capacity 01, and you can select this Fabric capacity from here. Once it is done, then you will be able to put up a name and your workspace will be available similar to this one. I just created one for this demonstration purpose, and it will be straightforward available for you. By default, this workspace might not have anything available for you. It is totally blank. So you can start from here. So if the need is to create a lake house so that you will be able to organize your data that is in structured, semi-structured, unstructured format, and you would like to use it as your first place of your data storage mechanism, then create a lake house. And creating a lake house is very easy and convenient. Like as I just said, we don't require any additional configuration to be done. You just click on a new item straightforward in front of your screen and say, okay, my need is to create a lake house. See, these are some favorites that I have already added. You can click on this all item and see what are the different options that are available. So you have the options that you can straightforward copy paste or just an ad hoc basis. If your data need to be copied and put it into your lake house environment or a data warehouse into the Fabric environment, so the copy jobs are there. And there are multiple things that can be done. Let's do a few things quickly. My need is to create a lake house. So I'll say lake house, just put up a name, and you can just select a name for this one. I'll just say this is my lake house O2. I'll put a name here, and in which workspace. Currently I have already selected my current workspace, so it is already there. But in case you want to select something else, you can say, okay, I'll just look into my other workspaces that are available for me, but where you have the permissions to create the lake house, where you have the permission to create new resources. Only those resources will be available here, right? Okay, it might take a couple of minutes to create it. I have created one for this demonstration purpose named as lake houses, right? So the lake house is here. Once this lake house is available, taking the benefit of your Delta Lake, where you will be taking the benefit of your all the data stored into the file format. Data is in the Parquet file format. You will be taking the benefit of your version controlling, time travel. That is what the Delta Lake provides you. And the SQL engine provides you the capability so that you will be able to query the data by using a SQL commands as well, without the need of writing your notebooks as well. So how you can do that? See, that's very simple and easy to perform it. I'll quickly go back from here. This is my workspace. See, when my workspace is lakehouse is getting created, you will get two things from here. One, this is your lakehouse, and along this lakehouse, you will be getting a SQL endpoint. So if you are creating the tables into the lakehouse, you can use this SQL endpoint, write the SQL commands and query the data. And if you want to use an explorer where you can see what are the tables, what are the files, folders that we have created, you can use this SQL, the Lakehouse endpoint. So just say this is Lakehouse. Let's navigate to the Lakehouse. From here, this is your explorer. From this explorer, you can see what is there in my Lakehouse. So it gives you two options, the tables and the files. As I just told you, by default, the files are there. All your data from any formats, it can be easily uploaded within this section. Like I can simply come here and say, okay, I have some files on my local computer, so I would like to upload it. So it says, okay, come here. And if you want, you can organize your data with the help of the subfolder, create subfolder, upload your data, and you can start using it. And it is having an option to use the shortcut as well. Shortcut means without moving, copying, duplicating your data from the different type of data sources, you can query the data directly from here. Like, let's say that you have the ADLS, you have the AWS, you have the Google storage. So what you can do, see, these are the current external sources that it provides you. That means I don't need to move my data from Amazon S3 into my Fabric environment before I query. It can make a direct connection. If my data is in the blob or the Google storage or in the preview in the OneDrive or in the SharePoint, I don't need to move my data into the OneDrive, into my OneLake. I can query the data directly from here. So these are the shortcut without having the duplicate copy of my data. So the shortcut is there. Other option, if your data is available on your local compute and you would like to handle, you want to query that, you would like to process that data. So that's very easy that you can do that. So here it is. You can say, okay, get my data from here and upload the files from here. I can say, okay, let me just upload some files from here. I just need to provide the location. I'm just uploading one of the file from a local computer. This is my file is like sales.csv. Common example that everybody might have seen a couple of times, many times during your the learning process, during your practices, the similar type of data files you might be using. This is a CSV file currently available inside the file section. And from this file, you will be able to see what is the structure of this file. And currently, I don't have any tables available. It's too easy that if you want to create a table out of this one, it says like, okay, come here and say, load my data into a new table. So I don't need to write any program. It is straightforward available. What should be the name of my table? I'll say sales. Okay, it is having the first row as a, yes, I know it is having, and the separate comma because it is a CSV file that I am using. I'll say, okay, load this data for me. Once I have just selected it, what is going to be happening basically, it is using the computation, the Lakehouse is using the Spark engine in the background. It is creating a table for me. And that table will be available inside this table section. It might take a couple of seconds, sometimes a minute's time. Right? So we'll be having, here we go. So my table is here. I can simply come here and say it's loading the preview. Preview will help me to just look my data. Now the table is there. The sales table is easily available for me. Now, if you want to query this table, currently it is in a preview and this is available for you. Now I would like to query my data. So you have two options, right? You have two ways that you will be able to query this data. Like do a SQL endpoint, connect with your SQL endpoint and write a SQL command. That is one way of doing it. Or the second option is like, I can simply move towards these options. Like a notebook, the notebook will help me that I can write the code, create my data frame, put the data over there, do my data processing, right? Do my any type of analytics, data handling, right? And then you can play with your data. So that is another way of doing it. So it's too easy. I'll just come here and say, okay, I would like to query the data here. What I can do, see, there is on the top, you have the option. You can open any of your existing notebook or you can create a new notebook as well. Using this new notebook option, you will be getting the option to write the program, do the program, interact with your notebook, handle your data accordingly, and you can perform any operations. Like it is just loaded for me. Now look into how fast the Fabric is, right? I'll just see this is my Lakehouse and I have these files, I have these tables available. I'll say, okay, I would like to read this data. It says, okay, I'm just loading this data with the help of a Spark. So it is just writing. See, Spark SQL is there. Reading the data from a lake house, sales, top 100, 1000 records is going to be retrieved and say the first thing. I'm not connected with any of the session with my Spark engine right now. Let me just play here. I'll say come. Notice connecting with the Spark engine. As I just told you, out of the box, the Spark that is available, that is getting started within a time of less than 20 seconds. So within 20 seconds, so session started in 10 seconds only. Computation has been started and now it is executing my SQL command as well. So from here, I can write, if your data is in the different files folders and you would like to read the data from there, that also can be easily done. See, here it is, just 30 seconds job and the data is available for you. I would like to read the data from a file itself. That was a table. So here you can see I'm reading a CSV file, having the headers available, and this is my file that I'm currently using and displaying it. Just taking the benefit of only the UI. Medical writers. Yeah. Okay, here you go. So you can just simply say that how easy this is going to be available for you. You can take the benefit of the Copilot to do all this stuff in front of, if you want to write it quickly, right? So the Copilot is there that will give you the capability that you can do it. Yeah. Okay. So the data is available. Second options, what I can do, I can go to my Fabric and I can open my SQL endpoint. Even though from the same screen, I can say, come here. I'm currently connected towards my notebook, right? This is my lake house and I am connected towards my lake house. What I can do, I can come here and say, this is a SQL endpoint. By using the SQL endpoint, what I can do, I can simply have the option that I can query my data. You can expand your DBO, look for your table. Yeah, that's a good question. So we have the different type of the computation. Currently, the power that I'm using, it is like the F32 as a capacity, 32 minutes, 32 minutes. That means I'm using a capacity, look into here. This is the F32 as a capacity. That means I'm getting a computer of 4-core CPU in the background. That is the current capacity that I'm getting right now. But based on the need, I can make it small or I can make it big. But when you're using it inside the Azure environment, so the benefit is like anytime when your computation is not required, you can pause it. But if it is a license base that you're using, that is running 24/7 because you are paying for your license and it is calculated automatically. Whatever has been allocated to you, that is available for the entire 24 hours. Whether you consume or doesn't consume it, it is not going to be carry forward. But here it is in your control. Whenever it is not required, you can pause it and you can change the size based on your need anytime. Yeah. Once I'm here, what I can do, see the sales is here. I can say, okay, let me have a query here. So I can just write the queries directly from here. See, I'm just looking for top 100 and it is about to execute my query. And this query can help me to get my data from this capacity. So my endpoint, the SQL endpoint will help me to query the data. Not only limited to this one, you will be able to perform a lot of operations. Like I'll just take an example of my existing notebook. This is my order analysis. I'm just opening the one that I created earlier for an example. By using this one, I can read the data from any of the files that are available under the files section. I have the orders, and within this orders, what I have the couple of files available. So if I want to read the data, I can say, okay, help me to read the data. Then I can say I would like to have my own schema structure associated. I can associate the schema structure with this one. If you would like to apply this schema to your new files, you can apply it. This is towards a one single file. And here By using the wildcard character, I can apply this one to all the files that are available inside the order. All the CSV file will be having the similar type of the structure as well. Like you can see, I'm just reading one of the file from here. And then I'll say, okay, the data is here. I'll be having my own structures. Of course, SQL types, creating a struct type, your column name, your data type. And by using schema order schema, whatever the schema you have created, it is going to be bound with this one. So currently for 2019, or if later on you want, I will apply it to all my files. New data frame will be created, reading the data from all of your files, and the same structure, see, with the right data type has been applied. Now, in case you want to perform some additional operation, see, I'm just reading only give me the customer name, email address, or just showing me the distinct value. Just do a count for me, right? Just showing you all these values. I would like to retrieve only few columns. I would like to use a where clause. I would like to see where the quantity and doing the sum of this one. So see, the way you are writing a SQL, you will be able to perform here as well. Many of you in this session might be already using these notebooks to using the Python, Scala, SQL, might be the R as well to analyze your data. This is the same capability it is going to provide you. You can play, excuse me, you will be able to add new columns. You will be able to change these columns. And once the data has been processed, right, let me just do a few things from here. And if you want to write this data into your lake houses, so of course you have the capability that you can write this data into your warehouse as well, into the lake houses as well, right, the where it is required. Currently I'll be writing this data. Once it is getting created, say okay, just get this data available for me. I'm just running some few commands here, getting the first name, last name to process my data. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with this one. And here it is. I'm just writing some data because it is currently in a data frame. Of course, that is just a cache. No data is going to be saved. There is no persistence. Once the session is gone, there is no data into the data frame. But by using this statement, what I'm doing, whatever the data I have taken into my data frame right now, I'm about to store it inside the files, transform data, followed by the orders folder. So this is the hierarchy where my data is going to be stored, and I'll be getting the message like transform data has been saved. Now once the data is getting saved, I can come here. I will just come and say okay, refresh it so that I can see what are the files folder has been created. So you can notice the transform data is there, but within this transform data, if you'll just expand this option, see orders is there, but within the order you will see there are two things. One, my data is organized in the Parquet file format. This is where my data, the complex non-human readable format, the data is stored in this one, right? If I have to query the data from here, of course I can use a Spark engine in the background, like see, reading the data. What format? The Parquet. I can read the data from here. And if you want to organize this data so that your query will work fastest when executing, because it is just a few MBs of data, so might be the time doesn't make any difference right now, even though it is taking 4 seconds time with 633 milliseconds, right? But when you are having a big data, so of course that might be difficult for you to get your data in that much fastest way. So what you can do, you can always organize your data by creating the partitions as well, like creating a partition based on year and a month, so that my data will be organized like this way. So it is just creating a partition based on year and month fields that I have. It is going to create the data into the partition data. So the data is going to be organized like this. And once it is there, now let's come here, look into the data. Let me refresh it. See the partition data. Now in the partition data, based on the years that we have year 19, 20, 21. So my data is organized here within this one. See everything, we have the data. Then year and month, because it is year and month. So see how the data has been organized. Every month is having its own Parquet, or might be a couple of Parquet files based on the size of the data it has been created. So organizing your data is very easy when you are organizing it with the help of your partitions key. And if you want to read the data, of course we can do it directly from your partitions file by using the Parquet files. See, from year 2021. I'm not reading the data from one of this one. We have the tools available for this one. This is just a copy, upload copy you can use, right? So we have copy activity tool that can be utilized. We have the option that we can take the benefit of the GitHub as well. Use all your programs into the GitHub repository, and from here, uh, of course, in this case, these are not the application that it is going to migrate, but any of your database server, if you have, it is having the capability by using a copy tool activity or creating a data factory tool directly from here, you will be able to easily move your data from any of your database server or your analytical server like the warehouses into your Fabric environment as well. Right? So those things, if you have some notebooks environment available, you have your queries available for you. So these can also be easily migrated by using the GitHub. So just connect with your GitHub. It is having the capability to connect with your GitHub and the Azure DevOps environment, connect with that, move your data over there, and then it can be synchronized towards your the same Git repository, or the Azure DevOps projects can easily be integrated with your Fabric workspace as well. So your data will be in sync towards this environment, right? So there are a couple of ways that can be tried in case you want to migrate it. Yeah. And of course, you have the capability that you can create a table, because currently the data is in a Parquet format. If you want that, I would like to write this data into a table format, because the tables are delta tables. And once the tables are getting created, you will get two options, right? First, the data is organized in a table format so that you can easily query the data by using the rows and columns. That is one thing that you can perform. Second option is like, once the data is stored inside a delta format, you will be query the data using this table section. It will be having the version controlling, as I just told you. You will be having the version controlling and the time travel feature. Like, it is just creating one right now. When the files were created, you might have noticed we have only these Parquet files available, right? Only the Parquet, because it is not storing any time travel information. It is just holding my data. But once this delta is getting created, right? Let me refresh it. See, we have the new table available here called as sales order. See, once you have this sales order available, you can come here and say, show me my path where this data has been created. So you will be able to get this data from here. See, load the data from the Spark engine. I can curate. And what it is telling me, see, my data is here. Within this is the unique ID basically for your OneLake. It is getting created. And within this one, the table sales order has been created. And within this one, what will be happening basically, you will be having two things available. Not only the files that has been created, right? It will be having the JSON log files as well. So all your transaction details are getting stored into this log files, so that you will be able to do the time travel as well. Now the table has been created. Now you can even write a simple select within this one, the Spark SQL, or you can use the Spark engine as well by using the notebook to query the data, or you can use the SQL endpoint to query the data from here. The way you want, you can interact with this one. There are a couple of options that you will be able to explore, like you want to load your data. So the notebooks, data flow gen 2, more powerful as compared to the Power BI engine, that gives you the capability to having a more computation power when you talk about doing the data processing by using the Power Query. You have the data pipeline similar to the pipelines inside the data factory or the Synapse Analytics environment, or you can say the Delta Live tables inside the Databricks environment, the similar capabilities here, so that you can create your data pipelines to perform your ETL jobs with schedule, event-based trigger. All these things can happen. And the shortcut, without duplicating or moving your data from your source, you can take the data and move your data into your, do the data processing as well. So a lot of things can be easily implemented. Along with this, if you want to execute any of your the Python scripts that you have created, or the SQL scripts that you have created, that can also be done, and you will be able to create your Power BI reports as well. Your entire ETL jobs can be easily implemented and integrated into your environment. Not only limited to this one. If I say I would like to take the benefit of my Copilot as well. So the Copilot gives you the option that you will be able to perform many operations on your data. Like simple examples, I can go here and I'll say, let me open any of my notebook. I just created one earlier, existing notebook, and I'll say this is Copilot notebook. So if you want to take the benefit of the notebook without writing the code, so you can do this option. So you can use this magic keyword, that is double percentage code section, and you can ask this like in a human language, download the following file from the URL. I just provided a random URL and say, then write the file to the default lakehouse into a folder named temp and create the folder if it does not exist yet. So I'm just providing my prompt here, asking the Copilot to download the file and create a folder and write it. I'll just expand my lakehouse and you might notice that I don't have this folder available right now. So this temp is not there anymore because this has been created recently. I'm just trying to execute it. This time it will be the Copilot, because using this double ampersand code, I'm talking with Copilot right now. The Copilot is going to execute this statement first for me. And according to the Copilot, what will happen basically, it will help you to write the equivalent code, like how to download the data and how to write this data into a lakehouse, into your folder. So you can just see what is going to be happening. It is just saying, okay, the Copilot is working in the background. It is just updating your lakehouse, checking for your existing tables, what are the tables that are available, and how the file needs to be downloaded. So it is just performing. And now it is telling you that what we should do actually. In case I need to perform this activity, it is just telling you that how it should happen. Use the operating system request the URL lakehouse is like this. Location file name, it is going to created by this. It says like it is getting created, create a directory, download the content from the URL and tell me if in case there is any error and just write the content into the folder. Yes, of course, that is mandatory. First of all, Copilot has to be enabled by the administrator, right? And then based on the license, it will be available to the user. If you're using any of the license that is more than F2, right, as a capacity, the Copilot is by default enabled. But in case you want to disable the Copilot for the individual users, that can also be implemented by using the admin section. For any of your settings that you just see in front of this screen, you have the setting options available and you have the admin settings for your environment. So we have this. These are the settings for, okay, just go to your the connections for your admin portal, right? So from this admin portal, you can manage the control, like from your environment, who can use this Copilot capability. Now the code has been generated, right? Loop this ID, not exactly. No, just Copilot has to be, we just need to ensure that you are allocating the license of the Fabric first. Once it is there, you just need to go into your admin setting of your the Fabric environment and enable the Copilot. And while enabling the Copilot, it will ask you, is it enabled for the entire tenant or only few users? Then you can select whether it should be available for a single or few users or for the entirety, right? Or for the entire tenant, you can select. Then the user can consume it. And this Copilot is going to be using the same capacity unit the way we are using inside your the computation power currently in the Spark engine. So see, it is just saying that it is getting downloaded for me. I can just do a refresh and check if the files has been downloaded. Looking for a temp here. Now the temp is there and I have a file name as per the need. Now I can play with these files now, right? Human language, you can say. See, Copilot, load the file into a Spark data frame. The fields are separated with a tab. show the content of the data frame using a display method. Now I can ask the Copilot to just do this entire activity for me. So the Copilot will perform all these activities. It will generate the required code. Just be careful when the code is getting generated before executing. Just have a look in case there is some customization that is required. But most of the time the code is accurate. But again, as you see, because it is an AI generated code, so look in the top notification that your copilots or any of the agents that generate. So it says like it might have some errors as well. So be careful when you're executing it. So I'll just execute it. Says like from this location, read the file. This is a separator T, tap header true, and it is about to read the data from this location. Then you can just say, and based on the data, see frequency, projection, sex, age, unit, geography, time period, everything has been concatenated over here. So if you want to make it different, I will ask this one from the current load data frame, split the fields, see, using a comma. So I can just ask it to generate the code. See if the code is correct, execute it, test it, verify it, and move to your next step. So that's so easy that you can take the benefit of this tool, that is your Copilot. Ask the Copilot to generate the code for you, but with the right prompt. So the Copilot will be available for you. If you're using the IDE like the Visual Studio Code for writing your programs, then you can also take the benefit of the VS Code as well. So you can just take the VS Code. It will help you to use a cloud-based or your on-premise, your local VS Code as well. And if it is the local VS Code, then you can connect with if you don't have the Copilot, but you have the option to use the GitHub Copilot license, then you can take the GitHub Copilot license to write the code, check the code, fix the code, right? All these things can also be implemented as well. So by using the VS Code in your environment. Few more examples. I'm just asking to generate a code. So what it is doing, it is just saying like from this column, use this column separator. See, just write the code for me, and then remove this column and create a separate column for each. I'm just running it to test that how this execution is going to be happen for me. Now look into here. It has created, let's go at the end, see, frequency, projection, sex, age, unit. Yeah, that's a good question actually, like how you will be able to restrict it. In this case, restricting the user is on different levels. First, you can restrict the user on a workspace level. You can share that this workspace is available for only 2 users, right? So I'll just take this example with the help of my whiteboard here, right? So if you just allow me for a second, let me get my whiteboard here. So there are 2 ways. Permissions can be allocated on a workspace or individual items. Okay, so if this is a workspace, this is my entire workspace, that might have any of my lake house, or it might have my warehouse available, but these are not the only items that I have in my environment. Might be I have the notebooks available, might be I have this BI reports available, I have created many scripts over here, I have some KQL for real-time data ingestion, some machine learning environment, multiple things. If you are sharing a workspace, right, you just need to add any additional user based on the permission. So we have a couple of roles available like admin, full control. We have member, similar type of control as an administration, but not allowed to create not allowed to manage every aspect of your workspace. Then a contributor, similar permission towards your member, but they are not allowed to invite the other people. And then we have the viewer. Based on your need, you can allocate the permission. So in this case, all items will be shared. All items. This is in terms of sharing the workspace. Then second option, I don't want that the entire workspace will be available to my user. Only warehouse need to be shared. So I can share only the workspace. The way you share a file inside your OneDrive. Just click on your item and share it. I'll just show you an example here. And now the question is like how you can restrict user to a specific schema or a database. In that case, you can use your object level security policy. So you just need to create the role inside your warehouse or a lakehouse environment. And then you have to use your data manipulation. You write the control access and then you can restrict your user if it is on object level. So then object level, column level, row level, any type of security can easily be implemented. But from the UI part, from the interface only, this is on top of your environment. Like here is my Fabric environment. If I want to share the lake house or I would like to share any of my warehouses, once we'll create a warehouse, you will see, I'll just say share it. Now what the user can do, see, read only SQL endpoint data, read the Apache Spark, build the report or execute. This is how it can happen, right? If it is a warehouse, then accordingly. But if you want to share this entire item with your user, then this is manage access. So from this manage access, invite the other user here and allocate the role. By using this option, all items will be shared. By using this option, only one item from the environment will be shared. Okay, so there are two ways. Second, Manoj, something, how can I assign the users of data in an application? Should I create a cloud user or any how application connects and do the calculation for me? In case of the application about the cloud user, any special permissions if you're just talking about and connects and do the calculations. Can you just rephrase these questions? I'm not getting actually. Is this shared URL accessible by any browser without any login? No, Vinod, it is not like that. It is always restricted. The user should be the M365 user. And when you are sharing it, only that user with their right credentials, because behind the scenes, when you're using, these are the existing users. Okay, these are your 365 users only. So only they are allowed to access it. This cannot be exposed outside the environment because behind the scene, it is the Entra ID that is working, and Entra ID will ensure that only the user will be having the right permissions. They will be able to access the data because Entra ID is using the Graph API in the background to ensure the security of your resources in your environment. So your data is highly secured without any compromise until there is a public data. But every data inside the Fabric environment out of the box is your private data. Without sharing, without exposing, it is not going to be available to anyone. Yeah, so Entra ID is in the background, right? Okay, now I'll just go back to my notebook now, Copilot notebook, right? And once this notebook is generating some data, you might have noticed it. It is a very beautiful graph that is getting generated all the time. So you can just click on this, the visualization as well. I'll just use another example here, right? I'm just showing this data and say new chart. Now it will automatically highlight any of the charts that it is getting generated and gives you the option that you will be able to customize these charts, like what type of data you want to use, right? If you want to customize this, say build my own, you can customize it, you can editing this chart, what fields, how the graph should be available. All these things can easily be done. So you have two ways to view your data into the notebooks, table and the chart. And anytime you want that this particular cell should not be executed, so it is having one more feature. This is freeze cell. This is not available in other notebooks available right now, like the Databricks and the Synapse Analytics. This is something only available inside the Fabric only, right? So that you can freeze it, right? So when you are creating this notebook, calling it as a pipeline component as an activity, so of course this particular cell is not going to be executed, right? So you can just restrict it. So we have this notebook, we have this Copilot that can integrate with your environment and the VS Code that you can use from your desktop and or from the web as well, so that you will be able to query the data. Make sure you have the notebook extension available within the VS Code environment so that you can use it. And if you want to take the benefit of the GitHub Copilot environment, make sure you have the proper license available so that you can generate the code. So in case you don't have the Copilot capabilities, right, it is restricted, but you have the VS Code, you can connect with this one and you can do the entire thing by using the GitHub as well, right? So that is an alternate that can be utilized. Okay. Second option, what are the other options that we have? So there are more things that can be implemented. Like this is something that is related to your, you can say, within your the Spark engine, the capability it is gonna provide you. But along with this Spark capabilities, what we have the option that we can take the benefit of your the data flow as well. The data flow, a low code, no code tool, so that you will be able to do any of your, if you want to move your data into the cloud environment, you want to create an ad hoc solution like lift and shift environment, right, inside your environment. So this low code tool will help you, right? So Dataflow Gen 2 can easily be utilized. Along with this, you have the option, you can write your entire data into a data warehouse as well. So we have the warehouse engine available. And this warehouse will help you to write the data into a relational format. Creating these two resources are too easy. How is Fabric different from Microsoft Azure, since many of these services already exist in the Azure? So there is no comparison, first of all. Why? Because inside the Azure environment, you need to set up everything. So you should have some idea about like how your infrastructure need to be set up, configuring your virtual network, right? You must have the idea about like how to manage your the storage accounts and all, encryption, how it is going to be handled. But here it is just a straightforward sign up with your account and the things will be automatically set up for you. This is a simple a SaaS based solution. As a subscription require a platform services, that means the configuration management has to be done by a team. Here we don't require that. It is getting, you can say that there is no need of performing any of those activities. This is very simple to get it integrated. So there is no replacement ultimately. This is a SaaS based solution giving you the power to start straightforward with your all your needs, whether you're looking for a lake house, warehouse engine capability, everything is available out of the box available for you. And Azure is basically providing you more options, right? More control over your data with your own choice of configuration, computation, storage, everything is in your control. But here, due to the license limitations, you will be having the different choices available. So there are just a matter of choice and what is the skill set of my employees or my team members. If you want to start immediately without having the configuration management things in the place or without having an Azure subscription, so straightforward we can start using. Because most of the organization they would like to use this as a tool where without the need of the Azure configuration management thing, they can simply start creating their resources easily. So that's why the Fabric as a tool that is widely used nowadays, right? Most of the organization who are already using the Databricks, Azure Databricks I'm talking about, and using the Azure Synapse Analytics, they are moving towards the Fabric as well because it is just a license-based thing. So all those complexity in terms of managing the infrastructure in the background in terms of the Azure and the technicality things, that is getting eliminated, right? That's why the Fabric. Okay. So if we just talk about, I just need to have some data warehouses in place. So it's too easy and simple to set up a data warehouse as well. I just need to navigate towards my workspace and say, we have this warehouse available. From this, you see there are many options, but it is already here. I can just say this is a warehouse. I'll say this is a warehouse O1 I'm creating. So just creating a warehouse for me. It is getting created. If I have to get some data into this one, so I have just created some queries that I will be running here quickly to just see, get some data like similar to your data warehousing where you have dimensions and the fact tables. So I'm just creating some sample dimensions and the fact tables for me. It's too easy. Just a click away and your resources will be easily available for you. Once you have this data available, right? What we can do, if you want to query this data, because the data it is getting loaded for me, I can see my data. What is my data? See, get my data. So I'm just writing a query. See how fast this is. The difference between a lakehouse and the warehouse environment that you just see in front of you is like in the lakehouse, you have always the files and the tables. Here you are already having only SQL tables available. Your data is always structured because we are not talking with the files directly. We are always in a structured format. The data inside this environment is always available for any type of your BI needs. So if you want to create your semantic models, you want to create your reporting, you want to create any type of your enterprise solutions for your BI, it is straightforward available. And whether you talk about the SQL endpoint that we created earlier with your lakehouse or the SQL that is coming out of this one, and you want to connect with your SQL Server Management Studio, or you are using the Azure Data Studio from your local computer and you would like to query the data from here, that is also very simple and straightforward. What you need to do is like here you see we have the setting sections available, and you will see we have the SQL endpoint. From this SQL endpoint, you will get a connection string like a URL. This is there. Copy this URL, use your management studio, and in the server name, just put it over here. But you have to use the same credentials, the credentials of your 365 account to connect. Use your 365 credentials and connect with your account. This will help you to get the list of all your lake houses and the warehouse where you have the permissions to perform read write operations on your data, right? So you will be able to query the data by using the management studio as well. But we have the inbuilt thing available, having a query interface available. There are different ways. You can use a SQL query by writing it, or you have the option to use a visual query as well. Like if you are not comfortable with writing the SQL, let's say we are new to the SQL world and you want to query the data, just say drag and drop. And then this is just a matter of selecting the right type of the columns from here. What I want to see, I want to select only few columns, not all columns, just only few columns from here. See, it is like select only few columns. See, at the bottom of your screen, only few columns are listed. So it is just like a power query in the background that is helping me. I would like to remove the columns from here now. Remove the columns, right? In the background, it is keep on generating the query as well. So if you just click on view SQL, it is like, what are my columns that I'm just looking for? So a visual query is also there that you can create join, splitting, selecting, removing, sorting, filtering, right? All these things can easily be implemented by using these options. So the engine that your warehouse is using, this is using a massive parallel processing MPP for high concurrency. But when you're using the lake houses, it is using your distributed cluster, that your Spark engine in the background to process your data. Here it is using your SQL computation engine in the background, that is MPP, coming from a Synapse Analytics environment, a dedicated SQL Server pool. That is the behind the scenes that the warehouse is using. That's why for any of your BI needs where you need to handle your analytical workload, the warehouse is there. So you can play with this one. Along with this, it is again also having the capability for your Copilot as well. So by using this Copilot environment, you can ask the questions related to the Copilot, like I would like to analyze my data, I would like to play with this one. So you can ask these questions to the Copilot directly, and it will help you to get your data immediately available for you, right? So I can just say, okay, this is my Copilot. I can just ask what this Copilot can do for me. I'll say, okay, what can do? Let me ask this to my Copilot first. So it is just telling you what it can do. See, it is telling you brainstorming questions slash brainstorm. You can write generate SQL with your instructions, how the instruction, the SQL code need to be generated, right? It will help you to do that. In case you just want to explain or fix any of the question, any of the problem statement related to your program, so you can simply say, okay, help me to get this fixed over here. So you can just use this option fix. And in case you want to ask any question, say question, and your question need to be specified. So just ask the question and the Copilot will help you to do this one. Like I'll use some sample data here. Let me just clean this, close it, and let me close it and close it. Okay. Using this Copilot, let me just make it big. I'll say, okay, help me to generate some SQL. So I'll just copy this one, SQL, I'll just put it over here. I would like to generate a SQL. And what SQL I would like to generate from here? I'll say, okay, help me to calculate monthly sales revenue. So of course, when you are writing these queries, when you're writing these prompts, be careful that you understand your data. So first understand your data, right? Then only you will be able to write the exact prompt. Because if you don't understand your data, you won't be able to get. So it is just telling you that we can just create this type of query. I'll say, okay, insert the code over here. That is telling me from here, do a sum of this one from my warehouse fact table, create a join with the table, dim date from the fact tables, and do a grouping and help me to generate this report. See, monthly sales revenue, monthly, year, month, and the sales. Looks like it's working. Yeah, I can ask more questions to this one. Okay, so let's use this one again. I'll say, okay, retrieves anything. We have year, we have month, month name, and let's say sales region. So I'm just asking to tell me the data grouping based on the year, month name should be there, and the sales region should be available for me. So I'm just asking. So looks good now, right? Let me just have this query available for me. Okay, new query, month year grouped. Is this a new one? Let me just put it over here and say, let me execute it. Here you go, month name, sales region, and the total. Now it is getting generated. That means you have the option that you will be able to perform, take the benefit of the Copilot once again to perform these activities. In case, when you are creating this one and sales data warehouse one, I'm just writing something, right? Let me just run it from here, getting some error. So you can just take the benefit of this fixed query error. This fixed query will automatically look into your code, right? That what could be the possible reason. So it says like, see, autofix, corrected database name warehouse to the warehouse O1. So it will automatically help you to analyze your code that you have written, and it is going to fix the code for you. I just removed the O1. So there was an error, warehouse, it does not exist, but it helps me to get this one. Then in case you have written something, just let me remove this one. I'll just say, okay, help me to explain this query. Now it is going to explain this query to you as well, that what it has been written, how this code has been created, how it is working. See, for every statement, there is a comment there that is telling you that what this query is doing. See, so you can explain, you can fix, and in case you want to use this as a view, select the code and say save as a view. So I'll say this is sales revenue by month region. I'm just creating it. So it will help me to create a view here. View will be created, and so that we'll be able to execute it anytime later on. Now, because it is just as your traditional, you can say, a warehouse in place. That means whether you want to do your data classification, adding your dynamic data management views, right? Handling your a relationship between your data by creating a semantic model that is useful for your BI reporting purpose, you can use it. Or in case you want to put any type of your restrictions toward your users by using the object level security, column level security, row level security, or you can say you want to create your custom roles, you want to apply them, or you would like to do your dynamic data masking, all these things can easily be implemented because all these things comes out of the box with your data warehousing. Another component that is very useful is called as your the data flow generation tool. So that's just a small example like how this warehouse can be utilized. So we have the option to use a data flow as well. Data flow, a UI driven. How can we provide specific context data to the Copilot, like one table or multiple tables to be generate the query? That's a good one. In that case, we have a tool called as the data agent. Inside this Fabric environment, right? You just say new item. Currently, we are generating the code. See, currently we are taking the benefit of this Copilot to generate the code. Whether I just took an example of this notebook, then also I asked this to generate the code. See, it generated the code for me that I have to manually execute it. Here I'm taking the benefit of this warehouse, and within the Copilot I'm asking to generate the code for me or fix the code for me. The question is like how we can specify which table, multiply table to generate the queries. In that case, if you want, you can use an agent here. So we have the data agents inside the Fabric environment. Just use this workspace and say, I would like to use a data agent here. So we'll call it as an agent. Now this agent is a very powerful tool. The purpose of the agent is for multiple use cases, right? I'm saying agent 007. Okay, I'll say this is agent 007 here. What this agent can do, this agent can do wonders for you. Like, I would like to query the data, but in a natural language, rather than writing a SQL, rather than writing a queries like the way you are writing inside your notebook, I can write in a human language. How? I'll say, first of all, connect with your source. At a time you can connect with 5 sources at a time with an agent. I'll say this is my agent. My agent is my warehouse. Okay, and from this warehouse I can add and select what are my sources. It is currently connecting. I'll say, okay, these are my current sources, my different type of tables. Now once you have this table from here, what I can do basically, now I can ask these questions in human language. Like, now if you want to restrict only these few columns, select only few. If you want to use all tables, sorry, not columns, tables, select all. If you want to restrict few columns, that is not possible. Only the table based restrictions can be applied. Whatever you want, adding a lake house now. So the lake house will be available. 5 different data sources can be added. There is another table here. See, I'm just selecting these 4 along with the sales as a table. Now my agent will always look into these sources whenever I will query the data. Like, I can ask, how many products did we sell by fiscal year? I'm just asking this question, right? Let me ask this question now. Oh, that's a good question. Subscription level. See, the primary functionality of this agent is based on tenant. Why not subscription? Because it is not mandatory that you must have an Azure subscription to always use it. It is a license based. So it can be fixed on your tenant level, right? That's why not a subscription level, right? Okay. And see what we have just received here. See, fiscal year, this one. And what it has done in the background, see, if you just expand it, it says like this is the query that has been executed and this is the result, but it is providing you the response in a human language. What this agent can do, now this agent can do wonders for you. Like, I just selected these 2 sources. I will be selecting another lake house from here. See, 5 data sources, not the tables actually, right? So I'm just connecting with another lake house. So 5 different data sources at a time with multiple tables based on your choice you can connect. And the wonders are like, if you are using any type of your Azure AI Foundry for your AI solutions and you want your data should be available in your AI solutions that has been created by using Azure AI Foundry, you can connect with your environment. You can connect with your agent that has been created. So your agent will make a request to the agent here. Your AI agent in the AI Foundry will make a request to the agent within the Fabric, and whatever the data sources you have connected, they will be available for you. Second, in case you are using the Copilot Studio for creating your solutions and you would like to use the human language, again, whatever the agent you have configured here, this is going to be available inside your the Copilot Studio as well. That means in your entire 365 environment, right? If you want to play with your data that is in your Fabric environment, and AI solution or AI agent needs to be created. So once the agent is created in the Fabric, that can be exposed to the Copilot as well as your AI Foundry as well. Okay. One question is like, once we have to choose a capacity with this specific configuration Fabric, is the cost fixed or there any additional charges? No, the cost will remain fixed, but you will be getting a calculated amount of the capacity unit for 24 hours. Every 24 hours there is a fixed amount of the computation. Let's assume, just an example, let's say for every day you will get, if I have selected F32 as my capacity, let's assume you will get 3,20,000 computation unit. This is just an example for you, right? Now for 24 hours, this is your computation power that you have. Let's say if you have consumed this capacity in just only 5, 7, 8 hours, for the rest of the time it is getting paused, or might be there is a delay, because the amount of the requests are fixed for every 24 hours. Now, what is the solution? In that case, you just need to upgrade your computation by just scaling up your computation from F32 to F64 so that you can move to a bigger computation power in the background to use it, or otherwise you have to just wait until that throttling limit is getting exhausted. After 24 hours, it is getting reset so that you can consume it. But the computation is fixed. There is no additional cost. Cost is based on a license that you have subscribed for, right? And even though if you have used the Azure also, then also the cost is fixed, but it is only on if this is fixed. If you have consumed, what will next? You have to wait. So you have to just wait so that you can reuse it, you can reclaim it, in other words you can say. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just show you a small example with the help of I think my team will revert back to you, Robert, regarding this. The recording for the webinar will be available. Okay. If I have a couple of minutes, so I think that will be good. In case if you have any more questions that you would like to ask, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'll just try my best to answer most of your queries. Meanwhile, I have a couple of minutes, so I can show you quickly like how you will be taking the benefit of this is the agent as an example we have seen. But in case you want to take the benefit of your let's say the data flow generation tool, right? How easily you will be able to configure it. So it's also very easy. Like I need to use an ETL tool without, you can say, configuring the computation in the background, without writing the program. The ETL has to be created. So how easy this can be done? So I'll say this is just a simple data flow that is powered by the Power Query in the background. Just put up a name over here, and this is the data flow O1. And by default, if you want that it should be enabled for your GitHub as well, you can access it. So the recordings are available. Kritika, my team member, has already shared it. So Robert, anytime you can access it. Yeah. Okay. After the session is done, it will be available. So I can easily create a data flow from here. This data flow can be used for any type of your ad hoc queries. You want to execute it, you want to upload, move your data, you want to uh, modify your data, you want to scan your data, you can want to fix any of your data anomalies, right? All these things can easily be done. And again, within the same data flow, the way we have seen a couple of examples like how this can be used inside your other tools, the Copilot here also will help you to perform all these activities as well. First, you need to connect your data. So I'll say, okay, I'm just using some CSV file. I can upload from my computer, right? Just loading any of the file from here. Once this file is getting uploaded for me, right? It's just uploading, just a 3 MB of data file for me. I'll say upload it. just a CSV file. I'm uploading it for an example, right? It will be uploaded for me, and yeah, here you go. You can see a UI driven interface is available. So it is just loading the data. Now, based on my need, what I can do basically, I can ask the Copilot to just remove column, add column, fix data, so on, and I can play with this one. Remove column customer name. So it will help me to just say, oh, customer name is not there. Okay, yes, we have the customer name here. So it will help me to just remove whatever is doing, see, column removed, and it has been added in the step. That means this Copilot will help me to perform all these things, whether I'm done with adding resources, removing resources, because there are a lot of transformations that can be easily done. So either you do it by performing certain action or just taking the benefit of the Copilot to do it. Anything based on the need that can be easily done. Yeah. So guys, that was just a small idea, you can say, within a time limitation of 90 minutes. That was not too much, but whatever looks possible for me, that gives you some fair idea about like how the Copilot and the Fabric will help you to create any of your data solution inside your environment, whether we talk about the lake houses, warehouses, real-time environment, the Copilot integration using the data flow. You can just explore what are the options that are available. So for any of your data needs, I think this must be the one of the solution or the component that you want to add into your the enterprise as well. So feel free to let us know in case you have any requirements for these products for the training and consulting. Will be available for you. Yeah, I wish you all the best, and thank you everyone for your cooperation, your support, and listening me for the last 90 minutes. Thank you everyone. All right, thank you everyone. Take care, enjoy your day. Bye bye.
Thank
Happy
you. Thank you,
weekend to all
sir,
of
for
you.
your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy weekend to all of you.